Ladies and gentlemen, the CNN article is below. We'll just say T-ban, say they won't allow Afghans to leave country, reject evacuation extension. Things are going to get a lot worse, unfortunately, I think. I hope not. But before we go on, every segment, I want to give you some kind of perspective. Tell somebody close to you that you love. Tell them that you love them. Do something today or this week that makes you happy, that's healthy, that's beautiful. Don't let the noise, the hysteria, the chaos and the mayhem get you down. Understand, if you feel fortunate and lucky, understand how fortunate and lucky that you are, and tell somebody close to you that you love them. This is a catastrophe right now. This is an absolute disaster. Which is why, because things are going to get worse, I think, both in terms of our economy and foreign policy, I don't think that your life in particular should follow the trajectory of our foreign policy or country. We will get over this, we will overcome this, we will survive this, but this is a very terrible moment in American history. So, tell somebody close to you that you love them. And I know this positivity, these types of things are, I don't usually talk like this, but let's get to the CNN article. The T-ban said Tuesday that they were, quote, not allowing the evacuation of Afghans anymore. And said the U.S. must stick to the next week's timeline to pull out, as a frantic Western evacuation operation at Kabul airport picked up pace. Now, Democrats, media have stated almost every day for the past 4 years that there are systemic issues with, let's say, prejudice. And, okay, I don't think that President Biden's administration realizes the magnitude of this catastrophe. There are Afghans who have helped us. There are American citizens who are Afghans who are now going to be stuck. And the press secretary stated, don't use the word stranded. They're still thinking of public relations. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Tell your friends about this channel. We're like right next to, we're almost at 184,000 subs. Tell your friends, hit subscribe. I don't think that people understand the severity, the catastrophe, the nightmare, the absolute disaster this is. Okay, they are now, the T-ban is now deciding what we do, how we do it, and they have now halted the flow of, they have now prevented people from leaving that country. They have now decided, and August 31st is what, 7 days away or 6 days away. You're not going to be able to bring home everyone who needs to be brought home. So he has to extend the timeline. See, this is the problem. He must extend the timeline. The adversaries are saying, no, it will be a red line that you're crossing. We need to reach out to Prime Minister Khan of Pakistan. We need to reach out to countries within that region to help us. Okay, we cannot do this alone because we don't have the influence, unfortunately. After 20 years, we don't have the influence. Biden voted for this 20 years ago. Biden could have implemented an evacuation plan. He could have implemented a plan to evacuate on January 21st, the day after his inauguration. Had he simply abided by the negotiated deal negotiated and agreed upon by President Trump's administration and the adversaries there and countries around that region and the United Nations Security Council, none of this would have taken place. The announcement came as U.S. President Joe Biden made clear he aims to follow the August 31st timeline to withdraw troops from Afghanistan as long as the T-band does not disrupt ongoing evacuation operations. They are. Top American allies have already called for an extension in order to fly more people out. There has to be an extension. They're already interfering. And Biden, to spite Trump, prevented this evacuation from taking place, his administration. This is a very, very catastrophic nightmare. There are going to be people left. There are going to be people who will lose their lives in the most horrific manner. There are going to be American citizens of Afghan descent who are going to be left. And God forbid they escalate things after August 31st. What are we going to do? Because if they escalate, there's a number of atrocities, of nightmarish scenarios that I don't even want to get into. And then what if, during all of this, China invades Taiwan or blockades Taiwan? Then what? Or Putin decides to slowly take over a former Soviet bloc nation. Or any number of problems throughout the world. Or the economy doesn't rebound the way we want it to rebound, which it's not. This is the beginning of, I think, a very depressing or could be depressing. That's why I'm going to begin every segment now with tell somebody you love them and appreciate. If you feel fortunate, simply remember that just because the news and just because politics and just because the world is experiencing, just the most horrendous atrocities, and that unfortunately takes place throughout the world, every month, every year, every decade, every era. And I want my listeners and my viewers to understand that in this time of, social media, and in this time period where media has too much of an influence on the lives of Americans, even if the economy doesn't rebound and foreign policy continues to be a disaster and Biden's administration continues to be the worst, one of the worst administrations already, that should not affect your life. Or I should say, at least, you should continue and always focus on happiness, health, prosperity, joy, and telling people that you love them. Telling your loved ones that you love them. Writing poetry, writing that novel, starting, painting. You don't have to be Picasso. Hunter is a painter, is an artiste now. So focus on joyful, happy, healthy things, and strive for happiness in your life, and filter through the negativity from media. So I want to temper my reports with a focus on you focusing on happiness. But this is a catastrophe of epic proportions. It's only going to get worse, unfortunately, because Biden decided to spite Trump and not evacuate on January 21st. We had a May 1st timeline. Now we're going to go past August 31st. And I don't know what kind of nightmare scenario will take place, But the initiative, unfortunately, is with our adversaries, and they get to decide. The outcome, unfortunately. And Biden gave them that ability. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right now.